Hello gamers, this is GamerX here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do something a little different. Take a small break from the gameplay videos and we're going to do a balance video on what characters I think need nerfed, buffed, changed, all that. I'm going to try to go through it quickly because I recorded this, literally I just did a recording of this and I only did 5 characters and it was 20 minutes long. So I'm going to try to shorten it down a little bit and also make it a little more concise and understanding. But do note, I am doing this off the top of my head. I did not write a script or anything, so I might miss a thing or two about a character. That's where y'all can go down in the comments and let me know, and then, my opinion might change depending on that. But also, I have played this game since day one. I have played ranked like crazy, especially this season. I reached Ace rank in Season 2 and Season 3. Season 1 I got Gold 4 because I didn't start playing ranked until super late in the season. And I'm close to top 200 in MVP. So, I've played the game a lot. I have played every one of these characters at least a few times. And I have fought against every character here many times, so I feel like I have a good idea of what needs fixing, if anything at all needs fixing on a character. So we're just going to start with the first one and work our way. So Assault Deku, Default Deku, whatever you want to call him, I think he's fine the way he is. I don't think he needs any buffs or nerfs. People might disagree with that because of how powerful his alpha can be. You need to remember, Deku by himself is doing maybe 60 damage per shot. And people in this game can have 600 health, 650 health. So we'd have to hit you 10 times to kill you, which is a lot. And it's not insanely hard to aim with him, but it's not also the easiest thing ever. There's no obviously aim assist on PC, so you just have to be able to aim. And I think he's one of those characters to where in the hands of a really good player he can feel OP, but in the hands of a normal player I think he's fine. So I don't think just because he's OP when he's used by a good player is a good enough reason to nerf him. It's just that person's good at the game, good with the character, and therefore they're able to hit their shots more frequently, and therefore it looks like he's OP. But for the people who, most people are not hitting 100% of their shots. 95% of the player base is not hitting 100% of their shots. So I think the way he is right now, he's fine. I don't think he needs a nerf. I don't think he needs a buff. That's just me personally. Honestly, I'd say the same thing about Full Bullet Deku. You don't see Full Bullet Deku a lot. Maybe because people just didn't summon for him. Obviously he's not as good as Assault Deku. But if we're just talking about what he does and what his moves do and everything, I think they're fine. He's meant to be a more damaging close-up Deku. And I think he fits that role really well. The only thing I would say to change or fix with him, sometimes when you do his ground impact, the rocks don't form very well or form properly, and they break instantly. So maybe that might be more of a map issue though, so it'd be nice if they could tweak that a bit so where they'd be more consistently staying rather than breaking randomly because they're on a slightly off surface or something. Because then you can use it more defensively as well to where you block yourself into a building to heal. But I think Full Bullet Deku, Strike Deku is perfectly fine. So I'd say both the Dekus, fine. I don't think they need nerfed or buffed. I think they're fine. Bakugo. People might disagree with me on this. I think he's also fine. I don't think he needs nerfed or buffed. He's meant to be damage incarnate. He doesn't have any moves that stagger you or anything. And when I mean stagger, we'll get to Mount Lady in a minute. She has a move to where she stomps and then you get staggered, but she can still damage you. He does not have that. He either, you're just perfectly fine, you can run away, move freely while he's damaging you, or he knocks you back and puts you in invincibility frames to where you can't be hit. There is a small window to where when he throws both his grenades and you get knocked back, there's a small window to where when you're getting flown back, you don't have invincibility frames and he can still shoot you. It is a very small window, and again, almost every character can take advantage of that and do that, not just him. So, you know, I'd say, like, they already nerfed, at the way beginning of the game, they nerfed his alpha damage a lot. And then recently they nerfed his pierce damage a lot. And then they also, at some point, nerfed his special action. I think the way he is now, he's fine. The only thing I'd change is maybe make his Halaster impact more consistent. It's really hard to get people into the roll and then keep them in the roll and then hit them with the final explosion. Me personally, when I'm using Halaster impact with him, I literally just hit people with the final explosion or use it for mobility. I really don't try to hit people with like the beginning of it because they always come out of it. So I think that would be a nice change, and then maybe that would make me say, okay, maybe nerf this or maybe make this better, depending on if it was more consistent. Probably would be nerf this if it was more consistent. But yeah, people might disagree with me on that, but again, I fought so many Bakugos, it's very easy to kill him. You know, he can't go too far away with his special action. The fact that almost all his moves don't stagger you and make you to where you can immediately fight back, it's basically like who kills who first. So, you know, I don't think he's as OP and overwhelming as other people think. I think he's just a very, like, good all-around character. Personally. And that's not biased just because I main him. Uraraka, oh boy. Honestly, increase her health. Why is her health so low? I just realized that. Her health should be like 300 at least. And then maybe increase the hitbox size of her beta a bit, just a bit, not to where it was before. Because before it was actually unfair. But maybe a little bit bigger than it is now, because I feel like it's almost impossible to hit people with the beta. I think that would be it, though. I think her alpha is fine. I think her gamma is fine. Yeah, that's just my opinion on Uraraka. I think, again, maybe health increase and maybe a slight bigger beta hitbox, but not again like it was before, because no. So yeah, I'd say buff her. Ida, I'd say the only thing I'd say is maybe nerf the fix the infinite gamma bug that's going around first. Let's do that. And then maybe reduce the damage of his reciprocal burst a bit, because for the fact that you get 2 of them and the fact that it recharges really quickly, it does do a lot of damage. So I feel like the damage on it could be lowered a little bit. Just a little bit. But other than that, I think it's fine. I think him having low health is good. All his other stuff I think is fine. Shoto Todoroki, I'd say is fine where he is. I don't think he needs buffed or nerfed. Burfed. You know, his alpha, the speed at which he shoots his alpha got lowered a lot. His gamma does not last anywhere near as long as it did before. It's very quick. Yeah, you can still freeze people and then hit them with a few alphas, but he's not as oppressive as he once was. And I think the changes they made were good enough to where, you know, I think he's fine. I will still say though, the hitbox of his gamma is still not where it should be. The gamma hitbox should be the same as the ice, not bigger. Don't know why it is. They still need to fix that. It's not that hard to fix a hitbox. Honestly, that's the only change I'd make, and then he's fine. Don't touch him after that. He doesn't need anything. Maybe make his special action a little better, because it kind of sucks balls, but you know, that's my opinion on Shoto. So, oh boy. I'd say, since you can, like, so basically she has a combo where you do alpha, beta, beta. Since she can do that, and it's very easy to do that, I think maybe lowering the damage a little bit on like her alphas and her beta is probably a good idea. Or lower the reload speed on when she gets her alphas and betas back. Because I feel like it's just like she's so oppressive, and the fact that she can literally just fly away super easily and then the instant revive. I'd say like lower damage or increase reload speed. And it doesn't need to be by a lot either. You know, she already had really low damage and they buffed it a bit. You just like lower it a tiny bit or increase the reload speed so it takes longer for her to get her alphas and betas. So that way she could still run away, she can still do damage and fight people, but you have to be smarter with it. You can't just like spam it and then, oh, in 2 seconds I get it back anyway, so it doesn't matter. You know, that's my opinion. I think Sue is one of the characters that just needs, you know, if she's gonna be super agile, she better be doing like, if she's gonna be super agile and have like a 3-hit combo move, she better be doing like not as much damage. I'm just saying. Especially since they added tracking on her stuff. Kirishima, honestly, I think he's fine. In my opinion, it's very, you know, so they recently buffed his alpha, nerfed his beta. I think his alpha is honestly probably better than his beta at this point. But it's like, in my opinion, very, very easy to dodge his beta. You can dodge his gamma, it's just you have to have the right timing for it. And his alpha, I mean, he can't do like quick sharp turns, so you can dodge it pretty easily too. So I'd say like he's a character for me to where I'm always just like, you know, if I get caught by him, yeah, he can do a lot of damage, but most of the time I can just dodge him and not have any worries, so I think he's fine the way he is. I don't think he needs buffed or nerfed. Momo Yayorozu. I don't think she needs touched either. Maybe make it to her alpha you can swing it up in the air even if you're just standing on the ground, because you have to actually jump if you want to swing it in the air. Or I'm sorry, swing it up. Like, you know how Deku's alpha, like you can aim it anywhere and shoot wherever. With her alpha you can aim it anywhere, but you can only shoot it anywhere you want if you're jumping, which I think is kind of weird. It should just be like wherever you aim it should swing. I think that's just more of a quality of life thing. Her shield, I think her shield's a little underpowered, but I don't want them to do what they did before to where she's invincible completely while using it, because that's just not fair, and it doesn't make sense either. I don't know what they could do to make it better, but I don't know, maybe give her an extra round of it. Maybe? I don't know. Because like, I mean, Bakugo can shoot through it. It's a very tiny wall unless you upgrade it, and even then you can go over it like in 2 seconds. And it's not really good for mobility because you're usually running away from people with it, and they can shoot you in the back and kill you. So, I don't know, something with it. Don't make it the way it was before though. Please don't. And then her gamma, I think people will disagree with this. I think gamma is fine. know the range and how much damage it does is a lot. But as long as you're paying attention, it's not that hard. It's pretty hard to get hit by it if you're paying attention. Yeah, she might shoot at you from like super far away and hit you, but usually if it's like that, she can't like run up and like finish you or something. And it only shoots 3 cannonballs per cannon no matter what level it is. And the arc of the cannonballs changes every time it shoots because it pulls back, so because of that it makes it shoot at a different angle. So each of them will go further and further, so that it's not... You're basically only getting 1 cannonball exactly where you aim it. So I think, you know, because of that, I think it's fine. People might disagree, I think it's fine. And especially since her beta sucks now, like if they nerf this, then she's just gonna suck in general. So I think, you know, that's fine. Oh boy, where do I start with you? I did a video on him recently. The amount of people that I saw that said, nah, he's fine. He needs buffed. I'm like, guys, are we playing the same game? I don't think we're playing the same game. This man... like, because people complain about Bakugo, Deku as like the main, like, oh, they do so much damage, they shoot so fast, they can shoot so far. You guys do realize that Kaminari's alpha shoots farther than Bakugo's, right? And it stays for a while. Yeah, you have to zoom in to do it, but it's not that hard to zoom in. I'd say there's so much that needs changed with this. And there's so many things they could do to change it, like mainly his Gamma. I think his Alpha, you have to get hit by 2 of the zaps to get stunned. And about the damage it does, maybe they could lower it to where it's equal to what like Deku and Bakugo are doing, so it's not as oppressive. The beta, maybe lower the damage it can be, the damage it deals a bit, or like how quickly it knocks people back so they don't just sit in it for long periods, for too long. Or lower the time that you can use it, so you can't just like hold it for like 20 years. Any of those things I think would be fine. For his Gamma, you have a lot. This is, I think, the main thing that needs changed, and you have a lot of options for it. I think number 1, and this is the same thing that applied to Shoto Todoroki, reduce the hitbox size to match what we are actually seeing. The hitbox should be the size of the aura around him. It should not be bigger, because I'm telling you right now, the amount of times that I have gotten hit by this stupid thing, and I am nowhere near it, is stupid. And the same thing applies to Todoroki's Ice. It's just Todoroki's Ice isn't... people don't complain about Todoroki anymore because you don't see him anymore. Because people moved on to Kaminari. Because they nerfed Shoto. And I still agree, I still think Shoto's Ice hitbox needs fixed. And again, so does his. Especially because these are very important hitboxes to where if you screw up, you get stunned. So number 1, no matter what, hitbox needs to match what we're seeing. So that way it is easy for us to tell, okay, are we going to get hit by this? Are we not going to get hit by this? The amount of times I got hit by it, I'm nowhere near it, is astronomical. The paralysis, I think that should stay because it is his special gimmick. Maybe, lower the time in which people are paralyzed for to match with, like, the ice. Or, like, because I feel like you were paralyzed for longer than you're frozen for with Shoto. So maybe make it lower to how long the ice is. Maybe make it to where when he uses his Gamma, he has a longer charge up time before he sprints forward. Right now he has a tiny charge up time and then he sprints forward, maybe make that a little longer. Or just make it easier to dodge, honestly. Like any of those things. Again, I think the paralysis should stay because that is his gimmick, but I think they need to do something to where it is not super oppressive, because right now it is insanely oppressive. Too oppressive. This is the character that I think needs nerfed by far, because he's controlling the meta of the game right now. If you disagree, I'm sorry, you're wrong. He is complete control of the match, start to finish. There is no issues. There's almost no like penalties to it. Like in Smash Bros, Pichu does more damage than Pikachu does, but he damages himself with his electricity. Like that would be something to where like, yeah, maybe he damages himself. Like there has to be something. Again, change the hitbox and then do either one of the following. Make the startup time longer, make the paralysis less time, or make it to where it's easier to dodge, or make it to where he damages himself. There has to be something. Right now, it's just too powerful. Kendo, I think, is also a character that needs nerfed. The reason... So, first of all, I feel like her shield is a little too... Yeah, we'll do her shield first. I feel like her shield is a little too OP. The fact that, like, it blocks everything is kind of crazy. Like, so for example, we can use Momo as an example because Momo has a shield. Before she was invincible, so what would happen is you would go to her using an attack. Like, let's just use All Might's United States Smash, for example. What would happen is you'd run into her, and since she's invincible all over, it would do nothing, and then she would hit you and then knock you back. Now, though, depending on the move and depending on where you aim it, you can actually hit her with it while she's doing that. Yes, you can hit her in the back, but she has way more control over her shield than Momo does. And when you smack into someone with an attack, it staggers you, and then she gets a free combo on you. Which is why when I'm fighting Kendo's dude, I just laser their shield until it breaks. Cause like, I'm not sitting here like waiting 20 years to play the game. Because like all they do is just sit there and hold it, and they're basically indestructible from that angle. There needs to be some, make it to where it has a timer to where you can't hold it out forever. Make it to where some moves can go through it, or do damage to it at least. Like, actually, moves, don't make moves go through it, but make them do damage to it. Like the United States of Smash, instead of it like going into it and then staggering him, make it to where he punches the shield, it does nothing to her, but it does damage to the shield. And then you don't get staggered from it either. Like, I think that would be better. And then also, again, make it towards a timer so you cannot just hold it out forever. The other issue I have is with her combos. Basically, the way that the game works with, like, how the game is structured, if you knock someone back, and I talked about this a block ago, there's a brief moment where you can hit them. For Kendo, it is so easy to do that. You can do her normal melees, and then you smack them with her alpha. You can usually get in 1 or 2 alphas. And then you hit them with your gamma, you can maybe get in like an alpha or 2. Or, you know, they hit off your beta, they're staggered, you hit them with your alpha or your gamma. And the problem is that these do a lot of damage, so a very, very good Kendo player can instantly melt you. Very, very easily, and there's not a ton you can do about it, especially since she's so quick. She can instantly pull out her shield to block anything. She can throw like, it's like a shotgun pellet. Her gamma does a lot of damage and is very quick. I just feel like there needs to be more, just like Kaminari, there needs to be drawbacks. There needs to be things, you know, that make this balanced. You know, like, it takes her a while to pull her shield out. Her shield has a thing to where it depletes as she has it out. Something, I don't know. Because this is basically like Mr. Compress's shield, but just like on crack. Because it's I'm pretty sure it's faster than his shield, or about the same speed. And it blocks everything. Like literally everything that goes at it. I'm pretty sure it blocks everything. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think she needs some nerfs to make her a little more balanced. And again, when with these nerfs and whatnot, I don't want to see the characters like drop off a cliff. I don't want them to get nerfed into oblivion. I want them to be more balanced than they were before. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Ibara, I think she's fine. Maybe Chain, I'd say... I'd say maybe with her Gamma, make it to where it's a little easier to tell like where she's grabbing and how she's and like what she's grabbing. Because sometimes you could be like not near her and then she can grab you. Like the hitbox weirdness, I don't know. I feel like it has some weirdness to it, but that's the only thing I'd change about it. I think she's fine other than that. All Might, I think he's fine. His alpha got a damage nerf and a bullet nerf. So I think the way it is now, his alpha is fine. Personally, I never feel super comfortable with his alpha until I get it to level 4, then I feel like pretty comfortable with it. The United States of Smash I think is fine. It does a lot of damage and you can combo one of his alphas off of it. Maybe even 2. But probably just 1, I think. If someone immediately gets out of it, they can only do 1. But it's, you know, it's a little hard to aim this and hit someone with it. And it does leave you very, very vulnerable. So I think it's fine. Oklahoma Smash I think is fine. It gives you a little bit of invincibility, doing a little bit of damage while repelling shots at you. I think it's fine. But it's not, it doesn't make you like invincible and vulnerable to everything. People can knock you out of it. Yeah, I think All Might is perfectly fine. I don't think he needs any changes, personally. Aizawa, I'd say his combos need changed. There's, like, you can get people into almost infinite combos with his alphas and gammas. Like, you hit them with the gamma, and then there's a window to where you can immediately grab them with the alpha and pull them in. And then do more damage. Like, I feel like they should change the invincibility frames on that a bit, so you can't have that happen. Because he already does a lot of damage with just his alpha smacking you into the ground, or his gamma. Maybe change just the invincibility frames a bit, just so it's like, you can't go like alpha, gamma, you know, like, or alpha, gamma, alpha, beta. That's just my opinion. Cementos, I think he's fine. He's annoying as hell, but I don't know. I think maybe lower the damage he does a bit. Maybe lower the, like, how far he can shoot his alpha and gamma, but other than that, like, I don't, that's all I can think about for him. Endeavor, I think he's fine the way he is. I don't really have too many opinions on Endeavor. Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anything for Endeavor. Mount Lady, oh boy. The Caldera Stomp, Collateral Stomp, whatever the heck you call it. Please change it. You're probably like, what issue do you have with the stomp? It's the fact that when she does one stomp, it staggers you. And there's nothing you can do when you're staggered. I know people are saying, oh, then dodge it. Well, it has a very big hitbox. It gets 3 freaking hitbox increases in its level up path. And on top of that, she can use this and combo it into this. So she can like fly at you and then like fly forward with the stomp and then hit you with it. So it's very easy for her to hit the stomp. But what Mountain Lady players do is they hit you with the beta and then smack you with a bunch of alphas, then hit you with the beta again, then smack you with a bunch of alphas. They're not doing the beta twice in a row because if they do it twice in a row, then it knocks you back. They're doing it once, so it staggers you, and you can still take damage while you're staggered. I feel like just remove the stagger in general. Like, she does one stomp and knocks you back. And you know, they can increase the damage of it if that's the case. Like if it's like one stomp, if it might make more of just a power move to where it's like one stomp, kind of like when she's giant. It's just, it's because there's nothing you can do. There's no counterplay. If she gets you in her stagger combo, it's basically over unless you can kill her before she kills you, which she already started the damage off, so that's most likely not going to happen. Or she messes up and then you can escape, which is very hard for them to mess up because it's pretty easy to just press a button. I think, like, again, she needs her gamma fine, her alpha fine, but like this stomp and the staggering it causes, that needs to change. I don't know exactly how they could fix that. If they wanted to keep the stagger, maybe make the stagger last less time, a lot less time, so that like you can get maybe like, it gives you enough time to do 2 betas, but it doesn't give you enough time to like start throwing alphas out. Or you can still throw alphas out, but like by the time you're throwing alphas out, the person's not staggered anymore and they can like run away if need be. But the stagger lasts just enough time to where you can do 2 stomps. So then you could do the knockback. I think something like that would make sense and be pretty good. And that's all the heroes. Villain Shigaraki needs so much. I don't think there's a way to save him, to be honest, other than his skill set that's coming out, which I hope is good. He just has no aerial. Like, a lot of these characters can go in the air, and he just has nothing to deal with that. No attacks in his kit. So like, he would need a whole rework, but they're doing the skill set, so that's basically his rework. I mean, what he excels at, he's really good at. You know, the Gamma's great. If someone pops a plus ultra, you do the Gamma on them, they're basically dead. Because you know they're low health, unless of course they do it when they're not low health, but usually people do plus ultra when they're about to die, meaning they don't have much health, so since this goes through shield, yeah. Like in certain areas and situations, he could do a lot of damage. It's just like, if you're not in those situations, he's useless and can't do anything. He's a sitting duck. So yeah, in my opinion, I'd say like just he would need an entire rework, and that's what the skill set is basically for. So yeah, in my opinion, he might be the worst character in the game. Probably. Yeah, probably. Dobby, people might disagree. I think Dobby's fine. They did a buff to his special action recently, which I think was well needed and well deserved. To where it basically, what happened before is he'd do his special action and it would do like initial damage to you, and then that's it. Now it does initial damage and does damage over time as you're in his flames. I feel like that's much more useful than it was before. I feel like before it was like useless. Now I feel like it's more useful because that gives you more time for people to like go in and res you, or for you to like keep people off of you. Which he's the only character that can kind of do that. So like if a Sue is really far away and you get downed as a Dobby, you get his special action off, and it gives you time for the Sue to get there to instant revive you. And then he's very good with like close up fighting, with his Shadow Fire and his Ring of Fire. Both are really, really good. They can do a lot of damage. They can block projectiles and keep people away. And then his Alpha is pretty good too. It's very slow, but it does a decent amount of damage and has tracking to compensate for that. So honestly, I think Dobby's fine. I see a lot of people say Dobby's bad. I don't think he's that bad. Honestly, like he has the same issue that I'd say like Todoroki does and Shigaraki does, to where like certain characters in the game just don't have mobility. You know, Shoto has like forward mobility because he can ride his ice, but he has no like height mobility. Shigaraki has mobility with his Gamma, but he doesn't have height mobility. Dobby doesn't really have any form of mobility at all. But I wouldn't say he's bad despite that. Like he has no mobility, but he can do a lot to keep people staying away from him. And even if they're far away and they say like, oh, I'm gonna shoot at him and whatnot, like he could still shoot the Alpha at them, and he has the Gamma to block their shots. So honestly, I don't think Dobby's that bad. Genuinely, I don't. Toga, I think, is fine. I don't think, well, I think if they're gonna change anything, nerf the Slasher Killer Knife. Maybe reduce the damage it does a bit. I think giving her 2 shots of it is fine, and what it does is fine. I just maybe think like it is pretty oppressive, so I feel like they could reduce the damage of her beta a bit, but I think her other attacks and things she does are perfectly fine. Twice, nerf is Alpha. Nerf is Alpha. I think twice before his buff, his shadow buff, I think he was fine. He was okay. He wasn't like amazing, but he wasn't bad. I think he was like a good middle character. You know, he'd have the clones and he could build a clone army, and the clones basically have aimbot. The Gamma's pretty good for like comboing and for just flying around the map a lot, getting very good height. His melees are probably the best in the game in my opinion. And his alphas were pretty good. Like it was pretty easy to land them, not too difficult. And they did like okay damage. Now they do a lot of damage, too much damage. I think they, especially with the clones and everything, I think they should lower the damage that this does. I'd say in the middle, basically. Make it higher than it was before, but make it lower than it is now. Because I feel like right now it's too much damage, too much. But yeah. And then finally, Mr. Caress, I think he's fine the way he is. He's a barrier similar to Kendo, except Kendo's is way better. Because if this man has his that repels enemy shots, they can just do some melee and then hit you. So I definitely don't think his is anywhere near as OP as Kendo's. His Gamma got a buff a while ago to where it's much faster, which I think was well needed. He needed that. And his Alpha, I think is fine, honestly. Like, it does a lot of damage, but you do have to aim pretty... You have to have some decent aim or be like right in front of the person to actually get that damage off. See, the only thing I'd change is Vanishing Act special action. Make it to where you can compress a downed ally. Now people might be like, what do you mean that's OP? No, listen. First of all, compressing an ally and carrying them with you while you slowly restore their HP, it's okay. In niche situations, you can like maybe like grab someone like Dobby and then bounce away because he doesn't really have mobility like that, but it's in a lot of cases you don't really have the time to do that. Or you just can't do it usually because there's an animation and the animation takes a little bit of time and whatnot. But now if it was downed allies, that could be interesting because maybe you don't have enough time to revive your teammate, but you have enough time to put them in your pocket and run away. Then you run away with them, put them somewhere and revive them. I think that would be cool. And again, I to balance it, the countdown timer does not, it like freezes when he picks you up. So if it was at like 5.2 seconds, then it will stay at 5.2 seconds while you're in his pocket. And restore allies' health, I think that can stay the same. I mean, you don't lose health when you're down anyway, so, you know, if people did damage to you, then that would restore it slowly. So I think that can stay the same. But yeah, he can like pick you up while you're down, go somewhere else, and then put you out and then revive you. I think that would actually make it pretty useful and a pretty unique support role. But I think that's about it. Sorry for this long video, but there's a lot of characters to go over, and there's going to be even more characters in the future to go over, but I just wanted to do something different. Wanted to give my thoughts on the state of the game and like what characters I think need nerfed, what characters I think need buffed, what things I think need changed. We didn't go over like item inventory management, map, shoes. We're just focusing on the characters in this one. And let me know in the comments, do you agree with me? Do you not disagree with me? What are some things that you would change about the characters? Because remember, this is my personal opinion on what I think should be nerfed, buffed, based on what I have played with, and how long I've played the game, and what I've fought against. These are my opinions, what I think they should do. If you disagree, let me know. If you agree, also let me know. You know, like, do you think Bakugo should be nerfed? Do you think Deku should be nerfed? Do you think Mount Lady's fine the way she is? Do you think Kaminari is fine the way he is? You're wrong, but sure, let's just say that. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. This is a long video, sorry for that. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.